Last spring break of March 2013, my wife and I went on a mission trip to Tegu, which is down in Honduras. It was the first mission trip that either my wife or I had ever been on. It was pretty cool.
Christ Chapel was going to send our team, it was about 10 to 13 people, I can't remember exactly how many, but the goal was to work with Buckner International and to go to their community transformation center that they have in Honduras and to run a medical clinic for approximately 5 days.
I was scared. I didn't know what to expect and what role I would play, and even from a mission standpoint, I was nervous that my faith wasn't strong enough.
I believe this is what God has me to do. Not only my job, my life, this is where He wants me to be. I believe that with every bit of my heart.
So we had a vision group, we had a dental group, and then we had a general medical. So an individual would come in and speak to a volunteer, and they would briefly ask, what the person needed. And if they said vision, then they would go directly to the vision room where Sean and Sarah were with the translator.
I was able to give sight to people. There were people that you see anywhere from an old farmer who, the oldest one I saw was 92 years old. The youngest kids we saw were about 8 years old. Those were the school kids that were having trouble reading the board.
A couple of the kids that, were school-age kids, I remember one in particular, when he put his glasses on, he would, they'll do this thing, they'll kind of look around, to see if it's any better, and then they'll kind of pull them off and then put them back on. And he was just like, he was like stunned at how much he could see with the glasses on. I think it shocked him that it really was so different looking.
This lady comes in at the end of the day, end of the fourth day, and she said, I didn't even want to go, but I was praying and God's telling me to go, and I didn't want to go, and I'm going, look, I don't even know if I can help you or not because we're running out of glasses. I said, well, let me see what we can do. Well, before we left, I'd made a few of these glasses out of the stainless steel rod thing, and I asked my wife, I said, well, just let me make like 3 or 4 more, just in case. Let's throw them in my bag. And I remembered I had one more pair left, and I reached down and I picked it up, and it was like $4.75. Well, the way that I made the glasses, I cut the lens in half, so I put them on, and she looked over at the very top part of the glasses, she was able to read. And it was just amazing to be able to watch her see the words. It changed her life. It changed my life. My life and her life. We prayed after that, and just that whole feeling of that, being down there in that room and being with my wife and just the work of God, it was just amazing. It was great.
If they were there for dental, then they went straight to the dental room where Dr. Lee and Maddie were. And I'm fairly certain all he did was basically extract teeth. And what's funny is he's done this before, and I asked him, I was like, what do you do with the teeth? Like, when you extract all the teeth, what do you do with them? And so he's like, he put them in little boxes and gave them back to the people so that he didn't even have to worry about it.
I had this kid bring me his teeth, and he was a happy guy. I said, are you okay? Because he comes in, he's upset. I'm going, are you okay? And she goes, he just had 4 teeth pulled. And I'm like, wow, he's a tough kid.
And then there was a general medical. And so they would come in, and that's when they would get their weight and temperature and vital signs, the blood pressure. And then they would come to one of the other RNs, and we would ask them, what was going on, where they were hurting, or if they were diabetic, or if they took medications, what kind they took. And then from there, they would go downstairs, and then they would assess them further.
I know that they had saw many people with different, a lot of different injuries and things. Some diabetics patients that had some really bad foot wounds and things.
It was a surprise because each day the line got longer and longer, and every day we were shocked at the number of people. So some of these people didn't have anybody in their life, or they had a very, very difficult life. A lady that came in that we gave, I think, like an 18-month supply of metformin to, she had a son that died, she had a brother that passed, all very close to when we came. And so they were going through struggles. They were going through physical struggles, but they were going through spiritual struggles as well. And so we just wanted to show that God loved them and we love them, and we might not know you, but that doesn't make a difference.
So you talk about affecting change. You could affect generations of change by helping that young man get his education, or helping that woman who sits at home all day be able to read the Word of God and to have a better day whenever she gets home and deal with the family. I mean, it just changes things. What better thing to do than give somebody the gift of sight to where they could read the Word? It's just what we should be doing.
I think my number one prayer leading up to us leaving was that I prayed to be vulnerable and to let God do whatever He brought me there to do. And sometimes that's hard, even in an everyday capacity, to be vulnerable to what He wants. But just to kind of put that fear aside and apprehension aside and say, okay, I'm going now. Use me as you like, even as scary as it may be. Looking back, nothing was scary. I was just a big goober. I think it was initially going in, it was just the unknown. That was it. And you hand that over to God, and there's no fear there.
Yeah, anybody can do it. It's not that hard. And what you can't do, God can do. So don't worry about it.